Hello everyone, welcome to CNA, the daily newspaper analysis. Today we have the following list of topics, so let's discuss. The first topic goes with the Indian economy part of India's being the fifth largest economy. So what happened? We all know that recently India has overtaken UK to become the fifth largest economy in the world, and India is now behind US, China, Japan, and Germany in terms of the economy. So if we see a decade ago, India was ranked 11th amongst the world's largest economies, while the UK was firmly at the number of 5. तो आज से मैं अगर 10 साल पहले देख लूं तो 10 साल पहले भी वही हालत था यूके का. But today we have directly improved to a greater extent to reach the very goal of becoming the fifth largest economy today by trespassing even UK in its premises. So if I look forward with the key points associated with this respective topic, I can see that in the midst of the economic crisis that India has faced the challenge better. Today we see that Britain is bearing the brunt of its slowness. And the figures which were directly coming up is directly given, and it is worth noting that the Indian rupee has outperformed the UK pound against the dollar. So if we see today about the conditions of Indian rupee, it is much ahead of the terms with respectively the pound sterling. So according to the report, the size of the Indian economy with respective to nominal cash directly stood at around US dollar 854.7 billion. ये कब हुआ था? During the March quarter. And in contrast, the same of US dollar 814 billion for UK. तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हो कि कहाँ हम लोग का, यहाँ पे मैं मिटा देता हूँ ये. So if you see about 854.7 in the first quarter, that is in the March, ये मैं US डॉलर के हिसाब से बोल रहा हूँ. ये किसका था? इंडिया का था. और यूके का कितना था? It was around 814 billion. तो डिफरेंस देख लो. So therefore, India's currency was in a strong position against the pound in the quarter during the time period during which the calculations was done. That was in the last financial year. So therefore, we can see that Indian economy is registering today a growth of around 7%, while the UK economy is growing at less than 1%. आज हम लोग ग्रोथ कर रहे हैं 7% में, और उन लोग का इकोनॉमिकल ग्रोथ 1% से भी कम है. मतलब it is around 0.8 to 0.9% growth rate. So due to these reasons, India grew rapidly, but Britain could not perform like India and fell behind India in 6th place. So significantly, India has performed well in the agricultural, in the services sector. Supposedly, if I take the quarter, that is the first quarter again, that is April-June of the current financial year, the country's GDP has been 13.5%. And at the same time, comparing it with the April-June quarter of the last financial year, that is 2021-2022, क्योंकि ये वाला financial year कौन सा है? 2022-23. So if I see about the financial year of the last quarter, that is around financial year of 2021-22, the GDP growth rate at that time was around 20.1%. तो यहाँ पे हम लोग का growth देख सकते हो, trajectory देख सकते हो. Okay. So therefore, you can see that today, even if I say about the Universal Health Coverage Index, which is measured on the scale from 0 to 100, based on the average coverage of the essential sources, including reproductive, maternal, newborn, yes, sub में, India is directly showing some of the greater performances. And because India has proudly outsourced the rank of UK in this respective income period or in this respective economic period. Okay, so therefore, India has much left to go, because today we have a aim of becoming a $5 trillion economy. In the purchasing power parity index, तो हम लोग थर्ड पोजीशन में ऑलरेडी है ही, लेकिन इसमें भी हम लोग को आगे जाना है. जो हम लोग ने एक डिकेड में किया है, in the next few decades, even we need to go to the top first position. That's the goal of India. Okay, तो ये एक respective issue था about the India becoming the fifth largest economy. चलो next पे आते हैं. Assam, most number of sedition cases. ओके, तो यहाँ पे एक इश्यू चल रहा है विद रेस्पेक्टिव टू द स्टेट ऑफ असम अबाउट द सेडिशन. तो यहाँ पे क्या है कि यहाँ पे ये न्यूज किस लिए है? बिकॉज द नेशनल क्राइम रिकॉर्ड्स ब्यूरो जो एनसीआरबी है, ठीक है, यहाँ पे एनसीआरबी ने बोला गया है कि असम रिकॉर्ड्स द मोस्ट नंबर ऑफ सेडिशन केसेस इन द कंट्री इन द लास्ट 8 years. पिछले 8 सालों में असम सबसे ज्यादा क्या केसेस रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं? सेडिशन केसेस। सेडिशन मतलब क्या है? एनीथिंग और एनीवन हु हैज नो लॉयल्टी टुवर्ड्स द कंट्री एंड वांट्स टू गो आउटसाइड द कंट्री, okay, and wants to even separate with his own activities. He wants to separate out such number of area from the territory of India. ठीक है, सो therefore you can see एक एस्टिमेट के हिसाब से बताता है कि आउट ऑफ 475 सेडिशन केसेस जो हम लोग का रजिस्टर्ड हुआ है इन द कंट्री बिटवीन 2014 टू 2021, असम अकाउंटेड फॉर 69 केसेस। देख सकते हो 475, ओके, 475 के बेसिस पे असम का कितना है? 69 केसेस आर डायरेक्टली रजिस्टर्ड विद द रेस्पेक्टिव थिंग ऑफ असम। So you can directly see that over 14%, around 15% of the cases are only registered from the state of Assam towards the number of whole cases. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे देख सकते हो असम में है, फिर हरियाणा में है, फिर झारखंड, फिर कर्नाटका, फिर आंध्र प्रदेश। सो अभी पूछोगे सर व्हाट इज सेडिशंस? ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग बताया गया कि एनी पर्सन बाय वर्ड्स, ये हम लोग का सेक्शन 124A ऑफ द इंडियन पेनल को डिफाइन किया गया है। Any person by words, either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representation, otherwise brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt, or excites or attempt to excite disaffection towards the government established by law of India. Okay, तो ये directly हम लोग का किस में आता है? In the sedition things. So therefore, this section 124 also says about that sedition being an offense committed when any person by all such number of activities tries to bring hatred or contempt and directly excites a rebellion or a rebellion directly to take up even arms against the state, and which directly hampers the internal security of this region. Then that particular incidences can be defined as on the sedition law. तो इसका हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड क्या है सेडिशन लॉ का? सी, जो हम लोग का ये सेडिशन लॉ है ये एज ओल्ड है, ब्रिटिश टाइम का है। तो सेडिशन लॉज वर एनेक्टेड इन द 7th century England when lawmakers believed that only good opinions of the government should survive and bad opinions were detrimental to the government as well as the monarchy. Okay, and the law was originally drafted in 1837 और किसने किया था? वेरी फेमस नेम है थॉमस मैकाउले, उसने ड्राफ्ट किया था। Who was a British historian. Obviously, he was also a politician, but he was very much omitted when the IPC was enacted around in 1860. And during this period, Section 124A was inserted in 1870 by an amendment introduced by James Stephen when it felt the need for a specific section to deal with such number of offenses. Today, the sedition is a crime under section 124A जो यहाँ पे बताया गया है in this Indian Penal Code. Okay, तो इसका पनिशमेंट क्या होता है? It's particularly a non-bailable offense, जो कि एक सेडिशन लॉ में अंदर चला जाता है, उसको बेल नहीं मिलता है आसानी से। So punishment under section 124A of the IPC ranges from imprisonment up to 3 years to even a lifetime, to which a fine may also be added, that is directly on the jurisdiction of the respective court, तो वो कोर्ट देखता है। So a person charged under this law is barred from even a government job, and also they have to leave without their passport and must appear in the court at all times as and when required. Okay, तो इसका बहुत सारा significance भी है because ये reasonable restrictions लगाते हैं, it directly maintains the unity and integrity, it maintains the stability of the state. लेकिन इसके पास issues भी है। क्या issues है? Because this is directly a relic of the colonial era. एक टाइम जब हम लोग इंडिजिनियस में बहुत ज्यादा फोकस करते हैं। ओके, आज जैसे हम लोग ने इंडियन नेवी का फ्लैग हटा के अपना वाला जो एंथम लगाया, जो सेंट जॉर्ज क्रॉस जो थे हम लोग उसको हटा के, जो हम लोग को कॉलोनियल माइंडसेट का एक याद दिलाता था, उसको हटा के हम लोग इंडिजिनियसली कर रहे। तो फिर भी you can using, we can see such number of cases, such number of sections are directly getting inspired from the colonial mindset, that is the British era, because the colonial administrators directly used this sedition to lock up the people who criticized the British policies. लेकिन यहाँ पे क्रिटिसाइज करने वाले कौन थे? इंडियंस थे, लोकमान्य तिलक थे, महात्मा गांधी थे, जवाहरलाल नेहरू थे, भगत सिंह थे, who were directly convicted for their seditious speeches, writings and activities under the British rule. So the rampant use of sedition law recalls the colonial era. So therefore we need to go with the alterations of such number of things. Even if you see about the sedition, तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है? It's directly a repression of directly the democratic values. Because India is being described as an elected autocracy primarily because of the careless and calculated use of sedition law. So India में सबको हम लोग अगर सेडिशन लॉ में कोई गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ में कोई अगर क्रिटिसाइज भी करे, उसको भी अगर सेडिशन लॉ में डाल दे, then it's not a healthy democracy like India. So therefore, today we have to see that Section 124A of the IPC has its utility in combating the anti-national and or other elements. But however, dissent and criticism of the government are essential ingredients of robust public debate in a vibrant democracy like us. And they should not be constructed as sedition, because the definition of sedition should be also narrowed down to include only the issues that is pertaining to the territorial integrity of India as well as the sovereignty of the country. And also the civil society must take the lead to raise the awareness about the arbitrary use of sedition law. तो ये एक रेस्पेक्टिव इंसिडेंट है अबाउट द सेडिशन लॉ एंड इट्स रेस्पेक्टिव पर्पस टुडे इन आवर कंट्री. तो यहाँ पे बस असम हाईएस्ट में है, तो ये डायरेक्टली एक स्टेट पीसीएस के हिसाब से हम लोग का थोड़ा बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं. नैनो यूरिया. ओके, सो व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट दिस नैनो यूरिया, इसमें क्या है, वी कैन सी दैट सपोजली यहाँ पे एक डिफिनेशन भी डाला गया है कि ए प्रोडक्ट डेवलप्ड बाय द इंडियन फार्मर्स एंड फर्टिलाइजर्स कॉर्पोरेशन and heavily advertised by the central government as a panacea to reduce farmers' dependence on packaged urea. Okay, so today we could see that the nano urea, which is developed by this IFFCO, that is Indian Farmers and Fertilizers Cooperatives, it is the only nano fertilizer approved by the government of India and included in the fertilizer control order, that is FCO. And it is advertised as also a solution to reduce farmer dependence on packaged urea. तो हम लोग का जितना भी पैकेज यूरिया आते हैं उसमें डिपेंडेंस हम लोग का कम हो जाता है, क्योंकि हम लोग का जितना भी पैकेज यूरिया आता है मैक्सिमम हम लोग का इंपोर्ट्स भी होते हैं. ठीक है, तो ये डायरेक्टली हेवीली रिड्यूसेस द इंपोर्ट ऑफ सच नंबर ऑफ पैकेज यूरिया व्हिच इज कॉस्टिंग अस मोर. ओके, सो देयरफॉर दिस fertilizers and the nano urea, it has been fast tracked for various number of commercial application despite some of the incomplete trials. But 3 seasons of independent assessment by the ICAR, that is the Indian Council of Agricultural Research, is done for approving a new fertilizers. But in the case of nano urea, this was reduced to 2. तो हम लोग इसको अप्रूव जल्दी ही कर दिए थे. That is within a period of around 3 seasons. That is, I am telling about the Rabi season, the Kharif season, the Zaid season. तो हम लोग ने 3 सीजन में हम लोग अप्रूवल करते हैं उसका इफेक्ट का, लेकिन इसमें बस 2 ही सीजन में हम लोग ने ओके कर दिया है. तो इफ आई डायरेक्टली डिफरेंशिएट इट विद द ट्रेडिशनल यूरिया, तो नैनो यूरिया क्या है? इट्स अ पेटेंटेड एंड इंडिजिनियसली मेड लिक्विड दैट कंटेन्स नैनो पार्टिकल्स ऑफ यूरिया, and a single half-liter bottle of liquid can compensate for a 45 kg of urea granules. Okay, so therefore it is applicable in obviously 2 stages. The first packet is applied during the early sowing stage, and the second application is done when the plant has sprouted out a canopy of leaves and is approaching the reproductive phase of the plant growth. Okay, so ये जल्दी हम लोग का यूज होता है. तो despite nano urea, the traditional urea is still necessary during the initial stage as basal nitrogen of crop development. Today, the nano urea could be useful in the reproductive phase of the plant growth. And nano urea using nanotechnology even enables designing some of the ultra small particles that offer high surface mass ratio and help in the controlled delivery of plant nutrients. Okay, so therefore we have got a lot many number of significance because it directly brings down the cost of logistics and warehousing. Nano urea liquid will increase the production of the crops with improved nutritional quality. Average yield जो बताया गया है, it increased 7%. So in every particular aspect, the nano urea is directly some of the good things that today we are directly in association with this respective plant. So nano urea, apart from reducing the country's subsidy bill, is aimed at reducing the unbalanced and indiscriminate use of conventional urea, which can also increase crop productivity and even reduce the soil, water and air pollution. ठीक है, तो ये एक था एसोसिएटेड इशू विद द नैनो यूरिया. नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं, रिकवर स्पेंट रॉकेट स्टेजेस. ओके, सो यहां पे क्या हो गया, यू कैन सी अबाउट दैट द रॉकेट ISRO has successfully tested a technology that could aid cost-effective recovery of spent rocket stages and safety land payloads on other planets. So today, if I see about ISRO, which is basically the space research agency, okay, space research agency of India. So ISRO is directly got the ability to even go for a variety number of dynamics, where you can see that ISRO today is much ahead and is counted as among one of the greatest space agency of this whole world. Okay, so today ISRO is directly competing with some of the various necessities or with some of the various essentialities of some of the nearly developed countries. So that ISRO is directly, now today we directly know about that ISRO is directly thinking of going with various number of associated things with even some of the highly advanced countries, which could directly make the ISRO recognizable in the whole world. So इसका जो स्पेस एजेंसी है, इस एजेंसी का हम लोग का हेडक्वार्टर कहाँ पे है? It's in the city of Bengaluru, Karnataka. And what is its main vision? The main vision is to harness space technology and national development while pursuing some of the space science research and planetary exploration. Today, if I say about the Antrix Corporation Limited, that is the ACL, it is a marketing arm of the ISRO for promotion and commercially exploitation of the space products, technical consultancy services, and even transfer of technologies developed by the ISRO. So today, if I see about the man who is directly cheering this ISRO is directly S. Somnath. ठीक है, तो ये तो था हम लोग का क्या about the ISRO, okay, and its respective categories associate जो हम लोग ने बोला है, ठीक है. So today, if I directly say about the things associated with the ISRO, तो इस particular topic के हिसाब से मैं अगर बोलने लगूं, तो today we see that IAD वाला जो concept है, ये वाला चीज नया है. ये IAD क्या है? Its IAD is inflammable aerodynamic decelerator. मतलब क्या? It's a technique used for an atmospheric entry payload, and an inflatable envelope and an inflatant make up the inflatable aerodynamic decelerator. So while entering the atmosphere, it inflates like a balloon and deaccelerates like a lander. So some space agencies, including even the NASA, have already successfully tested this advanced version of this technology, including supersonic and hypersonic variants. So, however, for near future missions of ISRO, the current version that is tested is perfect. But it was also very much perspective that ये हम लोग बहुत ज़्यादा increase करेंगे in this recent period of times. Okay, because if I say about the IID tested by ISRO, which has inflated at around 84 kilometer, at an altitude of around 84 kilometer, and the sounding rocket cargoes dropped through the atmosphere, and it is fitted with even a booster module, a spin rocket that is very much ejectable. Okay. And on the top of it, so that it could directly withstand some of the extreme temperature. So यहाँ पे oil and wax, resistant rubber, ये सब लगाया गया. Also, it uses what? Compressed nitrogen that is very much stored in the bottle. And it has consistently decreased the payload's velocity through aerodynamic drag while maintaining the expected trajectory during the test plan. So if I see about the IAD, which will help ISRO in performing many space tasks effectively, including even recovery of spent stages of rockets. This is the first instance where an IID has been specially created for spent stage recovery. So even for interplanetary missions are certainly one aspect of the ISRO wishes to explore in these recent times through such number of IIDs. Okay, so ये था is relation with the respective IIDs and how significant this IID is, okay, and how it can directly help the ISRO for its interplanetary missions. तो रिसेंटली हम लोग जो शुक्रयान लॉन्च कर रहे हैं उसी के लिए भी हम लोग इसका एक पर्टिकुलर एस्पेक्ट यूज करना चाह रहे हैं. ओके, सो इट्स डायरेक्टली इन द प्रोसेस. नेक्स्ट पे आते हैं डार्क स्काई रिजर्व. व्हेन आई से अबाउट द डार्क स्काई रिजर्व, तो यहाँ पे क्या है? इंडियाज फर्स्ट डार्क स्काई रिजर्व इज टू कम अप इन लद्दाख. तो इसका क्या है? सो व्हाट इज डायरेक्टली अ डार्क स्काई रिजर्व? A dark sky region is an area usually surrounding a park or observatory that is kept free of artificial light pollution. तो ये एकदम डेजर्ट में लाया जाएगा. तो लद्दाख जो हम लोग का कोल्ड डेजर्ट है उसमें बढ़ाया जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे दूसरे जगह से कहीं पे भी लाइट ना हो, so that we can directly study or to directly promote the astronomy over here, because we know that the purpose of this dark sky preserve is generally to promote astronomy, because different national organizations have worked independently to create their programs, and different terms have been used to describe such number of areas. So a dark sky reserve is a designation given to a place that has policies in place to ensure that the tract of land or region has minimal artificial light interference. Okay, and several such reserves exist around the world, but none so far in India, and therefore we are directly planning to build up where? In this respective area of Ladakh. So यहाँ पे today we can see that the ideal conditions for India, because the Indian Astronomical Observatory, the high altitude station of the is situated directly in the north of the Western Himalayas at around 4,500 meters above mean sea level, and located atop the Mount Saraswati in the Nilam Khul plain in the Henley Valley of Changtang. It is a very dry, cold desert with a sparse human population. And the cloudless skies and low atmospheric water vapor makes it one of the best sites in the world for optimal infrared sub-millimeter and millimeter wavelengths to study. ठीक है, तो ये एक हम लोग का to study astronomy, to study the various aspects of the sky, to study the various aspects of the planets, of the stars, ये एक हम लोग का रिजर्व बना दिया गया है, that is a dark sky reserve in Ladakh, which could directly make very like capturation of the very low artificial lights that is directly coming in from the cities. Okay, तो ये वहां पे हुआ है. ठीक है, next, India and Australia from divergence to convergence. तो यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है? Because today we can see that India and Australia is directly cooperating in various number of fields. Okay, so if I see that in the recent years, the Indian-Australia bilateral relationship has undergone evolution, developing along a positive track, and which is directly a friendly partnership. So today, what is common between these two nations? Shared values of a pluralistic idea society, Westminster style democracies, that is a British type, Commonwealth traditions, same British के कब्जे में थे, expanding economic engagements, okay, increasing high level of interactions. Okay, so today if you see about the areas of cooperation between India and Australia, we can see we are cooperating with the science and technology. Okay, we are cooperating with education, sports, art and culture. Even political cooperation is also there. Okay, bilateral economic and trade relationship is also there, because India is directly what? The 8th largest trade partner of Australia. Civil nuclear cooperation is there, because we are directly procuring uranium from there. Defense cooperation is there, even directly going with some of the bilateral exercises. Resources and energy security are there. So in all these respective cases, when we are directly going with the areas of cooperation, तो यहाँ पे हम लोग का from divergence to convergence जा रहे हैं. हम लोग पहले ऐसे थे, आज हम लोग का सिचुएशन कैसा है? इंडिया और ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ओके, इंडिया ऑस्ट्रेलिया का टुडे द सिचुएशन इज समथिंग लाइक दिस. ओके, अभी साथ आ रहे हैं हम. ओके, इन वेरियस एस्पेक्ट. सो दिस थिंग्स टुडे वी कैन सी दैट हम लोग ये मेंटेन कर सकते हैं अगर हम लोग थोड़ा रूल ऑफ लॉ फॉलो करें, यहाँ पे अपने अपने स्ट्रेटेजिक इंटरेस्ट को देखें इन दिस इंडो पैसिफिक, बिकॉज चाइना इज डायरेक्टली एक्सपांडिंग. ओके, फिर हम लोग देखते हैं स्किल माइग्रेंट्स को, बिकॉज इन एडिशन इंडियंस आर टुडे द लार्जेस्ट सोर्स ऑफ द स्किल माइग्रेंट्स इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. वहां पे इंडियन पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है. Also, if we go with the Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement, today we directly see that the economic relationship is also very robust over here. Okay, और हम लोग का जितने भी हम लोग का आज टुडे डायलॉग्स है, because today we know that we have new energy in relationship. हम लोग आज renewable energy के लिए बात कर रहे हैं. Today the people who are going directly there and is directly leading their respective economy. Okay, this also plays an important area. Also in the area of cyber world, India and Australia is directly cooperating, because Australia has got such number of ideas to tackle such number of cyber crimes. Okay, also the significance of this Indo-Pacific region for India as well as Australia is very important, because the area is directly holding one of the best areas on account of over half of the global GDP and population. Even the mineral resources are very much of higher, economic growth higher है, commerce यहाँ पे higher. So therefore, if I see with a way forward with respect to this India and Australia, we could see that enhancing the shared framework. Okay, also directly today when India is directly surpassing countries like UK, becoming the 5th largest economy, तो यहाँ पे उन लोग का भी एक निर्भरता आ जाता है, because this also thinks that India is directly a stable economy today. Okay, also we have to go for various number of diplomatic maneuvering and economic and military assertions. Okay, so today if I am going for a rule-based multipolar world, we are directly focused towards a rule-based multipolar world with the view of stabilizing every area that is concerned with India and Australia. So at some point of time today, we could directly enhance the area of this Indian Ocean region, the Southern Ocean region, which could play the next battle of economic transformation. Okay, so इसीलिए because of the growing importance of this Indo-Pacific region, growing importance of India in this very region, being a stable economy, when all the economies are collapsing, at that point of time, the Australia's focus towards the markets of India, towards Australia's focus towards the country of India is very much of well seen over here. Okay, so this way we are directly going from a respective element of divergence towards convergence. तो ये issue था about the India and Australia going from divergence to convergence. Okay, चलो आप लोग के लिए 5 MCQs है यहाँ पे. You just try or not. आपका यहाँ पे जो आंसर्स है आपका टेलीग्राम चैनल में मिल जाएगा, तो do join the टेलीग्राम चैनल of us by the link given below. Okay, एक मेंस का क्वेश्चन है, you can directly attempt it and can send it to our टेलीग्राम चैनल. Okay, so thank you all and goodbye for today. Jai Hind.